What the f? Why'd you leave that in?
Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name's Indigo.
And I'm not actually that mad.
Today we're going to be talking about the brand new 2019 Artificer. Yeah, what Google said.
By the way, my name's Krug. If you aren't aware about the Artificer's
shortcomings.
Yes, we made a video about that.
Hate the way it is written.
Very underpowered.
This is another thing that's stupid.
They're not very entertaining, incredibly boring. I'd say more boring than underpowered.
I hate both of them.
It's not important now per se, but if you would like to laugh a bunch, I recommend going and watching that video. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You're going to get 1d8 of hit points, and you're going to be proficient with a handful of weapons and armor, because I don't want to read off the list.
We don't like lists. You're going to be proficient with Thieves' tools, Tinker's tools, and one other set of tools. This was one of my.
I thought it was dumb too.
Go and look at the contents of a Thieves' kit. Like, you get lockpicks, you get pliers, you get a mirror on a stick, you get some other ancillary stuff. Tinker's tools, the description of it is basically like, this is the tool set for the Artificer class, is what it says, effectively.
I'm gonna move on because I don't think it's as big of a deal as we're making it out to be.
Fine, you're proficient in con and int, saving throws, whatever.
At first level, you're going to get magic tinkering because you have Tinkerer's tools, which basically allows you to touch one tiny non-magical item and give it a property.
Yeah.
It's a small list of property. It's basically like it can play back a vocal message that is
25 characters or less.
No, it's 6. That Twitter 6 seconds. I think this is a weird one.
It's kind of their prestidigitation, right? I think it does have some utility though, because these are indefinite, and you can have a number of them active equal to your intelligence modifier. That's a common thread throughout this entire class. A lot of things rely on your intelligence modifier as far as the quantity of times you can do X.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that they're permanent, basically.
Like, you wait like 5 seconds and then say, I'm over here, touch it, and you throw it. Right? You hear, I'm over here, they're over there!
And players always find fun ways of abusing these. I can't wait to see yours.
Yeah.
If you can find a way to abuse this, let us know in the comments below so that we can use it on future GMs. Or each other.
Yeah.
I guess is what we're asking. At level 1, you're gonna get spellcasting, and you get cantrips. You get 2 at first level. You can learn up to 5th level spells. A restriction, I think, based around the fact that the rest of the class has a lot of added power to it. This isn't just a spellcasting class. You're a prepared caster, but there is a paragraph in the Unearthed Arcana that's basically letting you know that you don't have to be a caster. As you prepare your spells every day, you don't have to be learning something from a book. You can just as easily say that you're making little devices with like the tools at your disposal. It does specifically say that if you choose to roleplay this in this way, it gives you no additional benefits, it gives you no penalties, it is strictly for flavor. But I love the flavor so much. The idea of having like a utility belt with my spells on it, there's so many cool, different, quirky ways that you can have spells manifest themselves.
You're the kid from Goonies.
I got a great idea, you guys! Slick shoes! Slick shoes? Are you crazy? Data!
There is an ability that you can get later on that literally says you magically summon the thing.
Which, like, at that point, go f yourself. Hey, remember when we tried to make it so that you didn't have to focus on magic and that you can just be a builder that builds things and is really creative and filled with ingenuity? F that.
It is a limited spell list that you get to choose from, but it's a great list.
Much bigger than the last one.
It's much bigger, but it's a wider variety. The fact that it's got damaging spells, it's got healing spells,
damaging cantrips.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a lot of utility and really fun aspects to it.
It covers all the bases.
Yeah. At 2nd level, you're going to get magic infusion. Touch a weapon or an object and make it a magical item. It's specific to what item you're touching.
Yes.
I chose just 2 of them that you can choose from.
First one is enhanced weapon. This is basically going to give you the magical weapon +1 bonus to a weapon. At level 12, it's going to increase to +2.
It's a simple one, but it's very useful. It's very
also like quintessential.
Yeah. The other example I chose was replicate magic item, which guess what it allows you to do? Replicate a magical item!
Hey!
The list is pretty extensive. I like the list.
Way longer than the previous magic items list from the old Artificer class where you just created magic items. Like if you're trying to enchant a pair of boots, you need the boots. If you pick boots of Elvenkind, then you just like touch the boots, and now the boots are boots of Elvenkind.
This is like, if you want a magical item, it's giving you choice, it's giving you options.
Yeah.
You can take this infusion multiple times and use it to have multiple replicated magical items.
Yeah, you pick different ones, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
When you create the magic item, if you're doing it for yourself, you can choose to instantly attune to it.
Even if you die, the item still works a number of days, equal to your intelligence modifier.
Yep. You're not really going to be worried about disappointing your party at that point, are you? At level 3, you're going to get to pick your specialization, the Alchemist or the Artillery guy.
Artillarist.
The Artillery guy.
We'll talk about those at the very end. We're going to go through the rest of the base class, and then we'll come back to the 2. At level 3, you're going to get Tool Expert as well, which makes it so that any skill check in which you use a artisan's tools, the proficiency bonus increases by double.
No, it just doubles. Because increasing by double.
Yeah, it doubles.
It doubles.
It doubles.
There you go.
Yeah.
At 5th level, you get to attack twice. But the second attack has to be with a magic weapon, and I don't know what this part means, where you use the magic of the weapon to propel the attack. There is no mechanical, like strict mechanical definition of what that means. I don't think it's supposed to mean anything specific, but it might.
Like if you have a magical bow that you're using, or it could also refer to the fact that you have a wand.
Maybe it's saying you can't attack with a magical arrow as your second attack, but if it's a magical bow, you can. I don't know. Please clarify this a little bit.
That
like
needs
this
a little
isn't a
bit.
huge deal, but like just a little bit of clarification on what that second part means, if it is mechanical in nature, would be great.
At level 10, you're going to get the right cantrip for the job. Longest title for an ability I think that exists. You can actually swap out your cantrips after a long rest.
At level 18, you're going to get Spell Storing Item. This is going to allow you to pick a 1st or 2nd level spell that requires an action to use, and then store it in an item for later use. That item is going to be able to be activated by anybody, and they're going to be able to use the spell stored in that item using your spellcasting modifier, your intelligence, a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier.
All right, level 20 is the the Soul of the Artificer, which is you get to have 6 attuned items.
And you get a +1 bonus to your saving throws for every attuned item that you have at 6. Number 6. This might be a little more reasonable than it was before.
I will say it is.
It is more reasonable than it was before.
Yes.
By a huge amount, because it happens at level 20. I don't like the saving throw bonuses, bottom line.
Yep.
I hate them. I think they put it here because very few people reach level 20, and they want you to have something really strong to work towards, but they don't think you'll ever get it. And also at level 20, and you have a party of level 20 characters, is there really anything you can't do at that point? We were talking before, and you were like, it's really easy to make this feel strong without having it be broken.
Yeah.
With the same concept.
Yeah, the same concept. You can literally just say, you are now able to attune to 4 items. Just having 4 attuned items is very, very strong.
Yeah.
That no other class gets. Doubling it is insane. We're gonna use that boring, capstone to kind of go into the first of the Artificer's subclasses, which I find to be extremely boring, which is the Alchemist.
Far less boring than its predecessor. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, and then we'll go from there.
First off, you're going to get Tools of the Trade, which give you additional proficiencies in other artisans' tools. So for this one, it is going to be the Herbalist Kit and Alchemist. And the Alchemist Supply.
I like how you need to look down to find Alchemist.
Yeah. You're also going to be getting Crafting, which means that if you craft anything with the Alchemist Potion category, it's going to take a quarter of the time in which it would take you normally to make, and it's going to cost you half as much in gold.
Which is cool.
It's
cool.
You have a special list of alchemist spells that you always have prepared. You get 2 of them every X number of levels. There's a list of them on the screen. This is similar to a lot of other classes that have spells.
And then you get a Homunculus.
Ooh, is it a hunky homunculus?
It is, well, it's tiny, so
Oh.
it is a tiny flying homunculus that you get. You, as the designer of it, can make it look like whatever. You know, some of the descriptions they said was like a clockwork, you know, like bird.
Yeah,
you know,
or like a cauldron, or a vial with wings, which I thought was fun.
yeah. So you can make it look like whatever you want to look, but know that it can fly and it's a tiny object. Yep. It does get a couple of actions that it can take on you as your bonus action.
Yeah, so it goes, its turn is immediately after yours, right? That sounds sort of contradictory, but like two people can't have the same turn. So
Yeah.
you go, then it goes always, basically.
It also can be healed
Oh, can it?
with mending.
Oh, that's a really great idea. I love that idea because it's a thing made out of like objects. It's not like organic in nature. And so therefore using mending, the thing that's supposed to repair non-organic, non-living matter as opposed to healing spells, would repair it. Yeah, and it's 2d6, right? It heals 2d6 every time you cast mending on it. That's really, hey, is mending in your spell list? It is. It is in your spell list. If only we had thought of that. It's a really good idea. Say that you can cast mending once per day, and that if you cast mending on this thing, it is healed an amount.
Yeah.
Or it is brought back to 1 HP if it's unconscious.
At level 6, you're going to get Alchemy Master, which gives you a flat buff to your healing or damaging spells. So your healing spells get your intelligence modifier, and your damaging spells that deal with acid or poison damage will increase by your intelligence modifier.
As long as you're using your Alchemist's tools as your spellcasting focus.
Yes, which if you're playing the Alchemist, like,
You are.
Like, you also get to cast Lesser Restoration a number of times per day without taking a spell slot equal to your intelligence modifier.
At level 14, you're going to get Chemical Savant, which is going to make you resistant to poison and acid damage, just like, hey, that's the thing you are now. It's also going to make you immune to being poisoned, which is nifty. It's also going to make it so that you can cast Greater Restoration once per day.
Yeah.
That's a very useful thing.
Yeah, the fact that it also doesn't go against your spell slot is huge. So you're not just like, cool, well, I just wasted a spell slot. No, it's just like, cool, you good.
Yeah.
I like this, and this is the capstone for the Alchemist. I will say that the fact that it gets lesser and greater restoration is interesting and cool. I like the resistance. I just find that the main
The Homunculus.
is the Homunculus. And you get a familiar.
When I think Alchemist, I think hurling potions and stuff like that. And while the class does give you the freedom to
Say that you're
say that you're damaging with potions, I don't think that's enough if you're giving that to the base class and then expecting it to be the whole entire flavor of the subclass, you know?
And the fact that the Homunculus doesn't actually improve, other than the fact that it goes up based off of your proficiency bonus, you don't get to make choices.
Right.
It's literally like you get this, you're resistant to this, and now you can cast this.
Which is like, it's not an uncommon thing in subclasses, right? But when you compare it to the artillery dude, you can see why it feels like juxtaposed a little poorly.
Oh yeah, I actually like the Artillarist. Even though they get some of the basic same stuff that the Alchemist does, but just flavored differently, it gives you choices. You're gonna get Tools of the Trade, which allows you to have wood carving and
Artillery tools.
smith tools.
Yeah, okay.
You can also use rods, staffs, and wands as your spellcasting focus. You're also going to get crafting, where if you're going to be crafting an item that is under the wand category, it's going to take a quarter of the time and half the cost in gold.
At level 3, you also get a list of Artillerist spells, same as the previous, but they're different spells. I also like this list. I think it's flavorful. I think they're good spells.
Yep.
No problems
No
with it.
problem with it. Then you get the main aspect of this class, which is the Arcane Turret. I love this.
Yes.
It's not only an aspect that makes the game interesting, it adds choices, and not just one choice that you make for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
It's a day-to-day...
Constantly dynamic, seems strong,
Yes.
and flavorful out the wazoo.
Yeah. You magically summon... As an action, you magically summon a turret within 5 feet of you. The turret's options that you can summon are different. So you can summon a flamethrower, which creates a cone that requires a dexterity saving throw. You can do a force ballista, which does 120-foot range spell attack. And then there is the defender, which basically everyone within 10 feet of this artillery of your choice, plus the artillery, or the turret itself, gets an additional 10 hit points.
10 temporary hit points.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's really great.
So you have a saving throw. You have an attack, and then you have
A buff.
A buff. You have an AoE, you have a single target.
10 feet is a little bit small, so that's the only kind of...
I think a little bit later on.
If they gave an option to increase the range.
Yeah.
Now you can only freely cast one of these per day. Now if you want to cast more than the one per day, you will have to spend a first level or higher spell slot. If you already have one out, it just replaces the old one. You can only have one out at a time. Now they will disappear either because you have returned them when it hits 0 hit points, or if it's been out for 10 minutes.
You can optionally have the turret self-destruct.
Yes.
In which case, everything around it, I think it's a 10-foot radius, is that right?
I think so.
Has to make a dexterity saving throw or take an amount of damage. It can do things like make saving throws, but when you are doing that, treat all of its stats like a 10. So you basically just roll the dice.
It does come with little crab-like feet, so it can move.
But its speed is only 15 feet. It fits not the same flavor as what the previous Artificer was trying to
But that one was
fit,
crap.
But that one was crap. I think this is like a new goal for the subclass, and it is implemented very well.
Gives you choices, which is very, very important.
And like the fact that you can cast it once for free, and then you have an opportunity cost for doing it again is awesome design.
I do wish that there was some improvement with it, like increase the damage, or increase the range, or increase the size in which it heals.
Let us know in the comments down below if you want to see the scale and how you'd do it. I'd scale them by giving them 100 damage baseline.
Oh god. Then at 6th level, you're going to get Wand Prototype, which allows you to touch a non-magical wand.
Which is a stick.
Yeah, you can touch a stick and it turns into a wand that you basically incant with a cantrip of the Artificer. Now, the key thing about it is it doesn't have to be a spell in which you already know.
Yes.
It can just be any cantrip.
From your list.
From your list, yes. No other person can use it.
This is a little bit confusingly written, we think. We were talking back and forth, trying to decide whether or not you can do it to more than one wand at a time.
Yes.
Because it seems like you can.
Yeah.
But it also seems like you can't.
You touch a wand, but that could be referring to the fact that you have to do it one at a time.
Exactly. And then previously in the class, when it wants you to only have one thing at a time,
Like
it
the turret.
explicitly says you can only have one of these at a time.
Yeah.
So it's the grammatical, like, are you saying a stick literally? Or because you didn't explicitly say you can only have one, does that mean I can do it to more than one stick? That's kind of where we're at with this. I think it could use a little bit of rewriting. If they just need to literally take a little sentence like, you can only have one of these at a time, and just plug it into that paragraph, I think it would be a whole lot better. I think it's useful and fun.
Oh, absolutely.
I like the idea of it.
Now, this also improves at level 14. It allows you to put 2 spells, 2 cantrips, into a single wand.
Yes.
The other clarification I think we feel that they need is that they need to express that you can only cast one of the cantrips at a time.
I am not familiar with anything in the game that allows you to store 2 spells in one object. I feel like it's going to be very commonly misunderstood amongst like beginner to like the very cusp of intermediate players. This isn't allowing you to cast 2 cantrips at once.
Yeah.
Because that would have to be explained in very verbose terms. What if they have different targeting mechanisms? How does that work? Like, there's so many different things you'd have to clarify if that were the case. It can't possibly the way it's written.
A little cleanup on that.
Little tiny bit.
But still, I love it.
I love it. At level 14, you're gonna get Fortified Position. This is gonna do 2 things for you. One, your turrets within a 10-foot radius of themselves are gonna create partial cover for your allies that are that close. And notice that I said turrets because at level 14, you get to get 2 of them out at a time.
Yeah.
They can be different.
Yes.
And they both act at the same time, so you only have to sacrifice 1 bonus action to make both of them do whatever it is that they do, flamethrower and, you know, heal bot. You can do both.
And then if you want to cast a 3rd one, you spend that 1st level or higher spell slot.
Right.
But the first one that you had brought out then disappears.
Yeah.
Dropping a defender over here because we got a group of people over here attacking. I'm going to drop one over there. So they not only are they getting extra hit points, but they're also getting temporary like cover. You know, I really enjoy like this buff of the overall turrets.
Yeah.
Being able to improve the turrets themselves other than just having 2 out.
Yeah.
I would even almost say get rid of Wand Prototype and give that as a choice option.
Yeah, I don't know why they went with wands here. I don't get that. I think wands would have fit better with Alchemist as like a sub like thing that he was into. Like,
Yeah.
I make potions, and like some of the plants that I get my materials from are like really good wand making wood, and so I just happen to like get some of that and make them
And
for
I mean,
funsies.
alchemists and wands, they kind of fit like that Harry Potter wizard kind of aspect, versus someone that
Is artillery based?
you're Torbjorn. I don't see
You're Torbjorn. You're ready to work. You're not ready to watch the magical ether of the world do work for you. Gosh, I would like to say good job with the rework.
Yes,
like
much
universe
better.
is better than what this was before. I am like so happy with the way this has come out. If they take it a little bit further, it would be perfect.
Yep.
I think as it is right now, I would play the
Artillarist.
artillery gentleman. I don't think I'd play the alchemist at the moment, but I mean, maybe some of you guys like it. If you do, go down in the comments, let us know. Which one did you like best? Did you hate them both? If so, why? And then when you're done with that, like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to help us grow, hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we post new content, and then come chat with us on Twitter. I'm at QueueQT.
I'm Indigo QT on Twitter, or if you want to talk to both of us, you can talk to us.
Oh yes.
You can talk to us at all of these social medias.
Wow, we didn't rehearse that at all.
Until next time, we'll see you later.